So I keep getting this question over and over and over. I just wanted to create a video to explain it, okay? And the question is this: why can't I go longer than 3 hours before I am starving, I'm hungry, and I need to eat some food? So this is the problem of fasting. You just can't fast very long. And what this means is you have a serious blood sugar problem. An average thin person is carrying around about 100,000 calories of fat on their bodies. Yet we only have a very small amount of stored sugar. It's called glycogen. It's in the liver, it's in the muscles. So we have about only 1,700 calories of stored sugar and a tremendous amount of stored fat. So the problem is we're not able to tap into this fat because we have a blood sugar problem. We have what's called insulin resistance. What is that? Well, that is a situation where your pancreas is pumping out a lot of insulin and the receptor won't receive it because it's too much. And so then we don't get the communication back here because this is blocked. So then the pancreas just produces more and more and more and more insulin. So we have high levels of insulin when we have insulin resistance. And it's the high level of insulin that prevents someone from tapping into the fat. What allows you to tap into the fat and make this transition is low levels of insulin. And so the question is, how do you get someone to fast for a longer period of time so they're not so hungry and craving all the time? Very, very simple. Once you understand this, you must rid 100% of the sugars and the hidden sugars. Fruit includes dates, mango, especially apples. You can have some berries, but not any of the sweeter fruits. Yogurt, which has a good amount of sugar in it, especially if it's sweetened. But even the plain has sugar in it. Juice. Yes, that's like equivalent to soda. Honey is very similar to regular sugar. It will prevent you from tapping in the fat. So doing the keto program partially doesn't work. You have to bring the sugars way down in order for you to really get over here and start running off of your fat. And then what happens, you can go longer because you won't be hungry and you won't crave anymore. And you definitely want to make sure, and this is very important, that you don't snack. Sometimes people, even on keto, have this idea, I can just have a little snack in between the meal. Like even if it's a healthy snack, let's say it's some nuts or something like that, what's going to happen? That little bit of snack is going to make you hungry about an hour to 2 to 3 hours later. You're going to be hungry because eating makes you hungry. Why? Because it stimulates insulin. Even if you consume protein, it'll stimulate some degree of insulin, and then insulin will push the blood sugars down, and you end up with a blood sugar problem. So no more snacking. Number 3, just add more fat at the end of the meal. If we take a look at a meal, the first thing that I like to do is have my vegetable first, my salad. Second thing with the protein, which usually has fat in it. And then the last thing is maybe some additional fat, whether it's olives, peanut butter, or whatever. Because if you actually add more fat to the meal, it's going to allow you to fast longer. And fasting longer is going to help you transition over here too. So we have a combination of lowering your carbs and sugar and fasting longer. Both of those things will help you drop insulin and everything's going to work really nicely. The last thing that I would do is add more fiber in the form of vegetable, salad. Why? Because you can't digest that fiber. Your microbes take care of it for you. They can digest the fiber. They turn it into various chemicals that actually help your blood sugars. There's a chemical called butyrate, which actually comes from a microbe consuming the fiber, and that butyrate actually helps insulin resistance. It's also, by the way, anti-cancer. So if you're doing keto without a lot of vegetables, that could be a problem in the transition, especially if you have a history of blood sugar issues and insulin resistance. So after you do this, you're going to fast longer, and a lot of things are going to get better. But realize this, the longer you've had a blood sugar problem and insulin resistance, the more difficult it's going to take to make the transition, and the longer you're going to have to do this to see really good, amazing results. Before you go, if you have a question about a product, or you're new to keto and you want to know how to begin keto, or you're on keto and you need a debug because it's not going as smooth, I have a keto consultant standing by to help you. This is just for the people in the US. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to answer everyone's call, but I put the number down below so you can call and get some help.